for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Over the past months, this committee has exposed the lawlessness unfolding at our southern border. What we have not discussed is the burden the American taxpayer carries because of Biden's failed policies. And let me tell you, the drain on our financial resources is staggering. $151 billion is estimated the cost of illegal immigration to this country each year. That is billion with a B. And what's worse, the number's growing. As our national debt reaches $33 trillion, we can't afford to keep spending this much money when we know there is a solution. A recent DHS report estimated the cost of a physical border wall to be $20 billion. This is 1/8 of the yearly cost of illegal immigration in this country. This investment would pay off immediately and save taxpayers billions each year. Mr. Lyons, do you think building a physical wall at our southern border is a physically responsible decision?
That's one of the tools that we should utilize. And when Secretary Mayorkas was in Yuma, he made a commitment to Mayor Nichols and myself that he would fill 9 of the 11 gaps that we had in Yuma, and so far we have 3 that have been completed. But that was done with new material, not the material that had been previously purchased and laying within 50 yards of the new installation material.
As a former sheriff, I know the challenges of stretching every dollar we had in our budget to ensure the safety of citizens in my community. With a massive influx of illegal immigrants since Joe Biden took office, the financial stress is falling on states and local law enforcement to protect public safety and combat national security threats. For example, in your home state of Arizona, $20 million has been allocated to a border task force. When states are having to spend millions of dollars to combat illegal immigration, what strain does this put on the state and local budget to ensure safety?
Well, Arizona has been disproportionately affected as far as our state, local, and federal augmentation of implementing border security, and that state task force has done well to work along the corridors of the interstate, where they work with federal and local partners, our sheriff and other sheriffs, where they've been able to interdict the fentanyl. And those people who tend to bypass the safer areas and go straight across the desert, which is extremely dangerous. We also constructed a border wall out of Conex boxes, and that provided additional assurances directly around the city of Yuma, where we had people walking through fields and walking directly into homes or to other areas seeking assistance when Border Patrol was overrun and unable to take them in for processing.
Mm-hmm. Recently, the sheriff of a county on our southern border testified that border-related booking costs totaled $4.3 million in 2022. On top of this, over 1,500 suspects were booked into county jail for the border-related crimes. What are counties doing to afford these extra costs, and where are they finding the space to house these extra prisoners?
So in Yuma County, last year, fiscal year, our cost specifically related to the illegals that were detained was $1.3 million, of which I believe maybe we were reimbursed 10% or 10 cents on the dollar, I should say. But we continue to see other costs attributed to that as well. Especially our first responders, I apologize.
Exactly.
Who have to respond to 911 calls on the border, and most often people are just looking for a ride.
Your testimony today on what the farmers at the border are going through stuck with us. We hear stories of the toll this administration's policies are taking on every day in American lives constantly. What's frustrating, the Biden administration seemingly does not care. These illegal aliens aren't staying at the White House, they're flooding into your backyards. I wonder, Mr. Lyons, what do you think it'll take for the President and the Secretary Mayorkas to take this problem seriously?
Well, first and foremost, a visit to the border would be in order. I appreciate Secretary Mayorkas being there. I appreciate the 1/3 commitment that he has fulfilled. However, we are still far short of what is needed. Aside from that, all of our surveillance equipment on the southern border has been removed that was previously installed. And so we have a completely open southern border with surveillance equipment having been removed.
Who removed that?
This administration.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.